Robert, hello from a cloudy North Wales. Meg, happy 60th birthday, Dorian, lots of love. And Aline, nice to be able to join you from the Netherlands. Happy it is a bit cooler. And Amanda, greetings everyone. So looking forward to this. Good. So we'll just give it another couple of moments for last people to arrive, and then we'll begin. And Carrie from New Jersey, happy to be here for my first time from New Jersey. So really big welcome to you. Don't know if it's Carrie or Carrie, but a big welcome. And Sarah, happy birthday, Dorian. What could be better on your birthday? I can see you up there really smiling. That's fantastic. Amanda saying welcome, Carrie. And Katie saying hi from a cooler, Cheltenham. So while we're, again, I'll just give it another couple of minutes, just to say that Ollie, who's been doing tech support right from when we started doing these sessions way back in March 2020. I said last week that he's leaving and that this will be his last week. And he's gone off to play crazy golf or mini golf or something this evening as his farewell party at Breathworks. So he's doing that instead of being here with us when we wanted to really thank him, but he's going to come next week. So that's really great. He's going to come back next week and he's going to tell us a little bit about what he's planning to do and we can thank him. So that's good. Yeah, so we can think of him playing golf with the team, Breathworks team. And the thing about Ollie is that he's so good at everything, he would definitely win. You really do never ever do anything like a breakout room with Ollie. You know, those rooms where you're locked in and you've got all these clues and you've got to sort of break out of the room. He's phenomenally good at all that sort of thing. So I'm guessing he's probably going to, beat everybody else at golf this evening. Good. And Eline's saying, is he coming back? Well, he'll come back next week, but after that, no, he's leaving Breathworks and he's going off to do a long personal retreat somewhere, which is really remarkable. We'll miss him hugely. And also, I'm in awe. Here's this young man who's deciding to just go off the grid and watch his mind, train his mind for a prolonged period of time. So we've got Mark. So Mark is certainly for the time being, he's going to take over doing our tech support. And this is a voluntary role. So it's really nice to say that I do this voluntary as well, and Mark is doing it voluntary. And we just want to really offer this to the world. But it's really fantastic that Mark's stepped in to support us in this way. So thank you very, very much, Mark. Good. Well, I think we might start now. We've still got a few people coming in, but I think we'll begin. So in terms of what to do this evening, I thought we'd do quite a simple practice. We'll do body awareness and we'll come closer to how we're feeling in the body, and we'll come closer to how we're feeling emotionally, and we'll come closer to what kind of thoughts are flowing through the mind, and allow everything to come into the light of awareness. And if we allow things into the light of awareness, then we can move from being sort of victim to our own habitual reactive tendencies. And they usually fall into two camps of, I don't like this and I push it away. And we do that very automatically in a very unaware way normally. And the other camp is craving something pleasant and we just immediately want more of it. And so the grasping mind. So the aversive mind and the grasping mind are the sort of twin poles of the way we stay stuck in suffering. But if we can allow all of our experience into awareness that's open and fluid, and we can, if you like, inhibit these impulses to either push away or to grab hold of, then we have the chance to rest in a much more open, fluid, loving, kindly, creative state. So we move from reactive states to creative states. And we can only do this, and we can only do that if we allow everything into awareness with kindness and with gentleness. So awareness is incredibly powerful. It's an incredibly powerful way of moving from unaware, habitual, reactive states to aware, much more creative states. And if we do that again and again and again and again, then we grow and develop and we move towards a happier life, a less conflicted life, and mental and emotional freedom. And this is called in the tradition enlightenment. So that when you hear about enlightenment, it's basically that is where we free ourselves from all these afflictive states and we learn to rest in a kind of quality of consciousness, a quality of awareness, which is much more boundless, loving, free, even luminous and radiant. So we're just going to have a little bit of a go at moving from tight states to more open states in the light of awareness. I'll lead the practice, so those of you who are new, you don't need to remember a single thing I've just said. Just follow along as best you can and see what happens. Yeah, good. And I have a reading, which I think might be from Thich Nhat Hanh. I'm not absolutely certain where this reading comes from, but it's called A River of Perceptions. And I really love it, actually. It's a really great reading. Good. Okay, so if we settle down, first of all, into the position that we've chosen, and you can do the meditation sitting, you can do it lying down, you can do it standing, or you could do slow walking up and down the room. It's really up to you, choosing a position where you'll be as comfortable as possible, as relaxed as possible, and yet alert. That's really the criteria. And just beginning to rest and to settle into the position that we've chosen. Just seeing Meg kissing her little dog, which is very beautiful. So giving the weight of the body up to the surface beneath us. And seeing if we can have a felt quality of yielding and settling, resting, arriving. And if we want to help this, we could take a few deeper in-breaths and then really release and let go a little bit more with each out-breath. So quality of letting go of the past, letting go of the future, and arriving in each present moment with each out-breath. And then when you're ready, allowing your breathing to settle and to find its own natural rhythm. Beginning to allow our awareness to pour down inside the body and to rest inside breathing inside the body. If breathing feels disturbing for any reason, you could simply rest in the weight of the body, yielding into the support, feeling the contact between the body and the support. Or you might rest in the hands or the feet. Whatever's going to help you settle and arrive. So let's listen to this beautiful reading, A River of Perceptions. Our thoughts and feelings are like a river. If we try to stop the flow of a river, we will meet the resistance of the water. It is best to flow with it, and then we may be able to guide it in the ways we want to go. We must not attempt to halt it. Keep in mind that the river must flow and that we are going to follow it. We must be aware of every little stream that joins it. We must be aware of all the thoughts, feelings, and sensations that arise in us, of their birth, duration, and disappearance. Do you see? Now the resistance begins to disappear. The river of perceptions is still flowing, but no longer in darkness. It is now flowing in the sunlight of awareness. To keep the sun always shining inside of us, illuminating each rivulet, each pebble, each bend in the river, is the practice of meditation. So let's get a broad sense of ourselves to start with. A broad sense of the body, resting here. Maybe there's pain, maybe there's pleasure, maybe there's dull areas. Just seeing if we can begin to allow it into awareness with a kind, curious quality. Softening the wall, softening the resistance in the light of awareness. And what's our emotional weather like? A broad sense of how we're feeling emotionally and any associated thoughts. So taking the temperature if you like, or checking out the weather in this broad sense to start with, and bringing everything into the light of awareness. It's as if we're waking up to how we are right now. Instead of pushing things away or chasing after things, we're simply resting with what's actually happening, moment by moment, and noticing the way everything changes. Just like a river flowing. Now let's go a little bit deeper into the body. A slightly more precise awareness. So first of all, let's allow awareness to pour down and to fill the legs and the feet. So resting inside the legs and the feet. Noticing the arising and passing of sensation, feeling the arising and passing of sensation, temperature, contact with clothes, contact with the support beneath us, tingling, buzzing, numbness, whatever our experience is. And seeing if we can let it arise and pass, just like a flowing river, softening the impulse to resist and to grasp. And allowing awareness to fill the whole torso as well. The front, the back, the sides, the inside, the surface. The flow of breathing, flow of sensation. Very gently allowing it all into the light of awareness. Letting go of resistance, letting go of grasping and resting, flowing, being in the whole torso. Including the arms, so allowing awareness to pour through the shoulders, down through the arms, into the hands, fingers, thumbs. Maybe it's pleasant, maybe it's unpleasant, maybe it's dull, maybe there's tingling, heat, cold. Maybe the arms and hands are numb. And let's see if we can let the hands and the fingers rest in the present moment, letting go of grasping for the future, holding on to the past. Just resting, letting the hands be soft. And now including the neck and the head and the face. Feeling into the physicality of the head and the face. So rather than experiencing it as somehow separate from the body, it's a limb of the body, just like the arms and the legs. So feeling sensations, temperature, allowing the lips, tongue, jaw to be soft, eyes soft. And the whole body. The arising and passing of sensation, the flow of sensation, the flow of breathing, the flow of embodiment. The river of perceptions coming into the sunlight of awareness. So we can be less prey to compulsive aversion and compulsive grasping, and rest and flow moment by moment by moment in the whole body. Now coming a little closer to our emotional and mental experience. These are often very connected. We have thoughts about our emotions and we have emotions about our thoughts. Imagine that this whole field of awareness is coming into the light. The river of perception is coming into the light. We know what's going on. We meet it with kindness. We let it in and we let it go, and we let it in and we let it go. And now let's rest in broad, open, receptive awareness, where all of our experience arises and passes, moment by moment by moment, physically, emotionally, mentally. Every time we notice we've wandered off, in the noticing, we're succeeding in our practice, in our mindfulness practice, because we know what's happening. And we can choose to regroup, as it were, back in the body, back in the heart, back in the mind, back in the present. So moving into a few moments of unguided practice. what's happening now. If you've wandered far away, then in the noticing, you have this magic moment of choice, and you can choose to simply invite your awareness back inside the body, inside breathing, inside your emotional present moment experience, knowing your thoughts, inside awareness. So moving from unawareness to awareness. Now beginning to bring this practice to a close, feeling the weight of the body resting into the surface beneath us. Breathing in the whole body. Beginning to move the fingers and the toes if that's appropriate for you. Noticing any tendency to immediately grip around the movement. See if we can keep it soft and fluid. In your own time, coming into bigger movements if you want to, opening the eyes if they've been closed. Moving however we want to. I always want to jiggle for some reason. Ah, yes. Good. Yeah, so just coming out of that in your own time. I'm just quickly finding something here. So what we'll do now is we'll just stay online for a few moments, a little while. And if people want to, I found what I'm looking for now online. That's good. Yeah, if people want to put in the chat box what you notice, I always find that really, really interesting. And we can learn from each other as well. When people share their experience, you think, oh yes, that happened for me as well. Or, I encountered that particular experience. It can be very interesting, I think, just to hear from one another. And if you just want to slip away, then of course do that. That's absolutely fine. And I hope you have a good week. We'll be back here next week. For those of you who are here for the first time, really wonderful to practice with you. And thank you, Mark, for doing the tech. What you'll learn, Mark, is I'm really terrible at thanking the tech person until the very end. But today I've remembered at the beginning, so that's good. And Mark's already put the donation link in, but I'm actually going to put the donation link in for our fundraiser that we're doing this week. We're trying to raise, sorry, I have to try and say this with a straight face. We're trying to raise £10,000 by the end of June, which is actually just a few days away. Let me tell you how much we've raised so far. We've raised £1,500, which is £1,700 with gift aid. So that's good. That's really good. And we've got a way to go, haven't we, if we're going to make £10,000 by the end of the week. And this is because I said last week, like many, many people in the current economic climate at Breathworks, we're also struggling a little bit financially. And we just always want to help people. We want to offer what we have to the world in ways that are affordable. So we do things like give away our bursaries and scholarships to people. We give away money for seed funding to our teachers to do innovative projects in the community and things like that. So if you feel able to give something, that would be really amazing. Loretta's saying, what is £10,000 in dollars? Probably about 7.5, something like that, $7,500 US. No, that's not right, is it? It's more dollars. It's the other way around. Yes, it's probably about $13,000. Yeah. Again, I'm trying to say that with a straight face. I'm terrible at this. May I be a great fundraiser when I grow up. But anyway, you get the gist. If you want to help us, there's the link. Except I posted it to someone in a direct message rather than to all of you. So sorry, everybody. There's the accurate link to everybody. Good. So now, while you're all wondering about that, I'm going to read out some of the comments. What I do is I read these out because we have people here who, for whom engaging with the chat can be difficult, and being inclusive is really, really important to us. So what have we got here? We've got lots of thank yous. Someone's saying it's great to have a live practice available. Yes, I think it really is very, very important that we have live practices. Jessica's saying, thank you so much. I found many small muscles from my hip to my toes that were tense that I hadn't noticed before. It's interesting, isn't it? Between the hips and the toes, muscles that were tense. And Loretta, I was afraid I wasn't going to get better. I did. That's beautiful. So simple. I was afraid I wasn't going to get better. I did. Through half an hour of just being with awareness. Amazing. Lots more thank yous. And then on the Loretta saying, no pain right now. So I was afraid I wasn't going to get better. I did. No pain right now. And Lizzie, thank you, Vidyamala. That was great. I'm no longer stressed and so relaxed. Can you post the poem on here, please? I've got it as a Word document. So what I'll do is I'll post it on the community practice under the poetry session, which is one of the topics. And someone's saying, where do I find face-to-face groups near me? So maybe, Mark, could you put the link for the Mindfulness for Health and Mindfulness for Stress courses in the chat box? And Loretta, if you go there, you'll find out how to join one of our courses. And then Yaqub, hi Vidyamala and everyone. Yaqub from Saudi Arabia, appreciate your kindness. And I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. I need to ask about when pain wakes someone up from sleep. How do you deal with that, please? Thank you. So it's difficult. It's difficult, Yaqub. And there's various things you can do. You can do a practice like this. You could do a body scan in the middle of the night to see if that can help. Sometimes actually getting up can be helpful, just to sort of, the worst thing to do is to lie in bed and ruminate. The worst thing to do is lie there awake and then just get really worked up in the mind about the fact that you can't sleep. And I'm sure we've all got experience of that. So getting up and moving around a little bit, if that's possible, maybe reading, these kind of things can help. Sometimes, it is important to take medication or helpful to take medication in the night. But yes, it's the mind that can often ramp it all up, isn't it? You've got the pain and then the mind starts going crazy, or you get a lot of mental activity. So body scan practices, calming practices, breathing practices can help. Getting up, moving around, that kind of thing. And a lot of self-kindness, a lot of understanding. This is really hard. This is really, really hard. So to be kind and caring towards yourself rather than judgmental about whatever's occurring is important. And then Veronique is saying, goodness me, I am exhausted, but less after the practice, which is interesting, isn't it? Just 25 minutes of sitting quietly and you're less exhausted. Various other things. And then Sarah, find the guidance of the head as a limb so helpful. It allowed me to step back from thoughts and drop into my body. Thank you. Good. Because that's so interesting, isn't it? How in our culture in the West, for those of us who are Westerners here, we often have a view that the head and the body are somehow separate. And I believe this goes back to Descartes. So it is something in our kind of Western philosophical tradition. So we think the head's here and the body's here as different experiences, but the head, if you think about it, the head is, here I've got arms, you can see my arms, you can see my head, and the head is physical. And yes, it can feel like thoughts are located in the head, which is why we think the head's somehow different. But if you really follow your thoughts, you'll find they very often have a reflection in the body. Almost always thoughts have got some kind of expression in the body. And very often our physical experience will give rise to particular thoughts. So seeing the body and the mind as part of a continuum, I think, is very, very important. And it's lovely what you said. It allowed you to step back from thoughts and drop into the body. Because as soon as you see the head as a limb, which has got mental events taking place, you're no longer completely over-identified with the content. Which is where we go wrong in life. I think we over-identify with the content of what are essentially mental events flowing through the mind. And we also have this whole wonderful, even if painful body that is here, that's such a rich field of experience. And then Sarah's saying, once got past the rapids, seemed to get it. Grey weather is a challenge today. That's a wonderful image. So grey weather, it's all a bit grey. Maybe the river's a bit grey, then there's some rapids which are a bit turbulent, and then get through that. And yes, I get it. Here I am resting in the light of awareness. That's wonderful. And then Chris, thank you for my first time here. I brought awareness to how I'm feeling with honesty. Wonderful. I brought awareness to how I'm feeling with honesty. And that's the beginning of having this kind of doorway of choice, because you know what's happening, you're being honest, then you have this doorway of choice about how you respond to your feelings. And Emma, I am comfortably sleepy now. That was lovely. Interested to know how long the pauses were that you left, roughly. I think it was about 4 minutes of silence at the end. And then as we went through, I had no idea how long the pauses were, but it was about 4 minutes of silence at the end. And Kat, will the link still be open on Friday? Yes, if that's the fundraising link, I'm imagining we're going to keep it open because we obviously want to, we'd like people to really kind of, I suppose, feel motivated, like really feel part of Breathworks. Like Breathworks is wonderful, which I believe it is. It's helping people. And we'll keep that link open. I mean, in a way, we just set a target. It's Small Charity Week last week. So that's a really good reason to set a target. But we're not going to close that on Friday. We'll keep it open. Stella, I hadn't been able to make it for a few weeks and realized now how much I've missed it. It's so easy to get out of the habit, but it's so important. Thank you so much. Exactly. Isn't it easy to get out of the habit to do the things that are good for us? So, but welcome back. Really wonderful that you've come back. And Meg, thank you, Vidyamala, for meditation that helped me to go into my body and out of my mind, even for a short time. And that's impressive, Meg, when you've got the upset of the break-ins at your flats. So that's good. And Bonnie, thank you for this practice. It reminded me of the time when the only way out of a kayak overturning situation was literally swimming with the flow of a fast river. Thank you again. That again is a brilliant analogy. Swim with the flow of a fast river rather than resisting it. And apparently that's what you're supposed to do in rip tides as well. If you start swimming against the tide, it's much more difficult, but you float with it and then you can gradually find your way out of the rip tide. And Robert's saying, this is brilliant, Robert, thank you. That 10,000 UK pounds is exactly $12,746. That's brilliant. So if anyone happens to have $12,746 in your back pocket, you know where to go with it. You know what to do with it. Thank you so much, Robert. And Elena, it was so surreal to practice with people and being more aware of the body-mind state, unlike practicing yoga nidra. I don't know. Anyway, it is great here. Thank you all so much. So yoga nidra is a similar practice, but a little bit different. So it's great to hear, Elena. And Claire, I noticed mind wanted to be, I noticed the mind wanted to entertain itself with some sort of make-believe. I was aware of this. Thanks for this evening's practice. Yeah, exactly. That's what minds do. Minds love to entertain themselves by making stuff up. And you were aware of that. Brilliant. That's great. I can just see you at the top of the screen there. And Miriam, how comforting to be back home in the space, which I've had to miss for the past couple of weeks. I felt soft and fluid like that river, and I slightly drifted off. Thank you, Vidyamala, and thank you to Mark and to this community. Yeah, and Emma, I agree, live practice was fantastic and better for me to have the unpredictability of this practice as opposed to pre-emptiness, the script. Amazing. I'm not sure what that means exactly, Emma, but I agree, again, a live practice, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what I'm going to say. You don't know what your experience is going to be. And I think that's often more engaging. And Amanda, for me, I noticed my pain became an exploration, just intense sensations. And that was so interesting and a bit of a shock. Yeah, that's a breakthrough for many, many people when pain becomes sensation rather than sensation plus resistance, plus fatigue, plus anxiety, plus rumination, plus catastrophizing. Then you get this whole thing you call pain. But if we can compare it right back to, it's sensations. That's what it is. It's the arising and passing of sensations. It's unpleasant and it's much, much easier to manage than this whole great big edifice that we so easily create with the unaware or reactive mind. And Robin, sensing the weight of the body melding into the earth. Gosh, that's nice, melding into the earth. The essence of goodness rising and radiating throughout the stillness, offering peace to all beings. Gratitude to each being for participating. It's beautiful, sensing the weight of the body melding into the earth, the essence of goodness rising and radiating throughout the stillness. Beautiful, thank you, Robin. And then Louise, very hard to feel thoughts and emotions and not judge them and push them away. So I really loved your comments about not gripping or pushing away. Thanks. Thoughts much clearer now. Thank you. Great. Lots more thanks. Fantastic. And then Dorian, thanks so much everyone for the birthday wishes. Yesterday I had a series of near panic attacks and was able to sit with the sensations using the 5 Bs and finally got the nervous system to relax by doing 2 of your guided meditations, body awareness and loving kindness with Ollie and Vidyamala. Thank you so much for your guidance. That's beautiful and fantastic, Dorian. So the 5 Bs, for those of you that don't know, it's a practice I lead where we particularly see if we can soften the buttocks, the belly, the back of the throat and the brain. And these are all areas that are physiologically very significant with breathing. So if we can soften those areas, we can soften the breathing and we can regulate the nervous system. Maybe I'll lead that practice again soon, the 5 Bs of the breath. And then Sarah, please can you share the link on Insta? Happy to donate and share. I received a bursary, training to teach. So come on, let's reach that goal. I love my connection with Breathworks. Thank you. That's great. So we've got a whole marketing team at Breathworks. I'm imagining it must be on Instagram. I hope it's on Instagram by now. But what I'll do is I'll double check tomorrow and make sure it's put on Instagram. And then you can presumably share it from Instagram with your followers. But very moving to hear that you got a bursary. And then you got, so come on, let's reach that goal with a muscle. Yes, let's do it. I totally agree. Let's do it. Let's do this thing. Right, we're going to leave it there because I need to kind of have some food. And thank you very, very much, Mark. And thank you, everybody. Let me have a good look at you all. Lovely. And see you next week. And thanks for coming and take care. If you want to unmute to say goodbye, then please do so.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank
Bye.
you. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. See you soon. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
See you soon.
See
Thank
you
you.
next week. Thank you, Vidyamala. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Have a good week.
Happy birthday, Dorian.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, someone at the door.